Hi everyone, welcome to my ST10 and ST10 Plus TWRP recovery install. Try to get through this quick, but I do want to cover why would you want TWRP. Well, it's simple. This prevents your device from you ever having to brick it again and have to go through a big process to get it restored. With TWRP, it allows you to fix your device without needing a computer. So if you're out flying, and I know a lot of you professionals and some of you tinkerers out there like to install apps on these things that help you fly, and just for fun, you want to install Google Chrome on here and watch YouTube videos on your remote, or for whatever reason, whatever you want to do. TWRP allows you to restore your device back to stock if you mess anything up ever, as it boots first before the operating system. So I'm going to go through today what all the buttons mean and how to install it. But first things first, how to install it. You're going to get these files with the download to this video. Okay, and first thing you're going to want to do is turn on your remote. Once your remote is on, you want to go to System Settings, bottom left. Choose About Mode Flight Control. Spam on the right side. You want to spam the Android version a bunch of times. You should get this. Choose Developer Option and choose USB Debugging. At this point, if you want to look back at the computer, now you'll notice that right now we don't have any drivers. We cannot install anything because the computer cannot communicate on the hardware level, so we're going to change that. First things first, go down to your search bar and type Device Manager. For Windows 7, you just click the Start menu and start typing. For Windows 10 and 8, I'm not sure, but I know there is a Start menu or like a search. Choose Device Manager. You'll notice in here, once I uninstall my driver that I already have, I'm uninstalling the driver that I have because I already have this installed. So I'm going to uninstall it, so I can show you how to do this correctly. And plug my remote back in. At this point, you want to plug your remote into your computer if you haven't already. You'll notice in Device Manager. Oh shoot! I still have my driver installed. Let's see how this works. Maybe that worked. Oops, sorry guys. That was terrible. There we go. Now we got what we need. If you look on the, sorry for the focus here, that's terrible. Come on, focus. 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 Hello. Wake up, phone. There we go. Okay. Now I have my driver uninstalled. Sorry for that. And as you can see, I have an ST10 in here underneath other devices that has a orange triangle. If you do not have this, when you plug your remote in and you have USB debugging on, that means you already have the driver and you can skip this step. But for me, as you can see, I do not have it installed now, so I'm going to show you how to do this. You want to right click the ST10 with the yellow icon, choose Update Driver Software, choose Browse My Computer for software, choose Let Me Pick from a list of device drivers on my computer, make sure Show All Devices is choose Next, choose Have Disk, and choose Browse. Now what you want to do is choose wherever you put your USB_driver folder that was in the download, you want to navigate to that. As you can see, mine's on my desktop, so I'm going to choose desktop here, USB driver, and now choose Android_WinUSB. It'll come up here at the bottom, which is good, and choose OK. You will be presented with three options. First option you're going to want to choose for this tutorial is Android Composite ADB Interface. Choose Next. Installing this device driver is not recommended because Windows cannot verify that it's compatible with your hardware. This is fine. It is compatible with the hardware, so don't worry. Choose Yes. It's going to say, would you like to install this device software? And yes, this is from Google. So of course we want to install it. This is how the device communicates. Give this a minute. Usually takes a few seconds. And next we're going to install the fast boot driver. So we have that. And after that, we're going to start the actual flashing process. And here we go. We have Android Composite ADB interface. Perfect. Choose close. And now you want to right click your first option on top of your computer. As you can see, you have I have Kyle Dev PC, as that's my my PC's like username, and just choose scan for hardware changes. Make sure everything is all good, and there we go. Android Composite ADB interface is there, and the ST10 with the yellow triangle is gone. This is good. That means you have installed the driver. Now close Device Manager, and now what you want to do is, because you should have the driver installed now completely at this point, next thing you're going to want to install is Minimal ADB and Fast Boot Setup. This will also be in the download. Run this, choose yes, next, 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 and next, and install. I already have this installed on my computer, so I get this, but I'm going to choose next and let it close it and reinstall. But yours won't show up with that red X or anything like that. It'll just install just fine. Close this manually because the computer's not happy. There we go. That you won't have to do, like I said. And then once you get this, launch Minimal ADB and Fast Boot. Choose Finish. Okay. And now you should have a black box, which is good. First thing you want to do next is select the three final TWRP plus boot and standard boot images. You want to put these in the root of your C drive. On Windows 7, I do this by choosing Start, Computer, Local Disk C, and dragging all three of these into here. Choose Continue, and then perfect. You got them all three in here. That's great. That means it just makes it easier for us with the command line to install the software on the remote. So next, what you want to do, make sure your device is plugged in, ADB debugging is enabled, you have the driver installed. If you have all those things checked off, you're good. Type ADB devices. Should say daemon not running, starting now at TCP 5037. And as you can see, you have a number and a device. If you want, you can run the command again to make sure. ADB space devices. There you go. List of devices attached. You got the number, the hardware ID of the device, and the word device. That's good. Next thing you're going to want to do is type ADB space reboot space bootloader. And just like that on the computer screen as you see it, you choose Enter. This will reboot your ST10 into fast boot mode. Okay. At this point, once it says fast boot mode at the bottom left, you want to go down and open up Device Manager again. However you got to that on your machine, you want to do it again. Device Manager. Open it up. I'm going to uninstall my driver that I have installed because I've already done this before, obviously. There we go. Alright. So now, you will notice that you will have, you should have on your screen now, you should have in the device, you should have in the Device Manager, perfect. Alright, in the Device Manager you should see an Fast Boot Gadget, I think it says. Come on, I'm trying to get the cable in. Come on. Jesus. Am I nuts? Alright, there we go. Yep, as you can see, I have Fast Boot Gadget now. Okay. From here, you want to right-click Fast Boot Gadget. Choose Update Driver Software. Choose Browse My Computer for a device driver. Choose Let Me Pick from a Device Drivers on my computer. Make sure Show All Devices is chose. Click Next. Click Have Disk. Choose Browse. Go back to that USB driver folder. Mine's on my desktop. Choose the folder and open up the Android_WinUSB again. Click. Should come up here at the bottom with the text. Choose OK. This time you're going to want to choose Android bootloader interface. Then choose Next. Choose Yes. Of course, always trust software from Google. Google's a trusted company. It's an arguable debate, but we'll just push it by at that point. Install. It should take a moment. Make sure everything's good on this. Looks like it. Alright, now that she's installed, hit close, and you should notice now you have Android bootloader interface with no yellow triangle, and there's no fast boot gadget anymore. This is good. Close Device Manager. Go to your fast boot window here. Type the command fast boot space devices. Your device should be listed there. Should have some numbers and the word fast boot next to it. Next thing, we're going to start the flashing of TWRP. Type fast boot flash space boot. This is all, there's all spaces between these, so I'll type it again. Excuse me. Fast boot space flash space boot space C:// final TWRP.img. Make sure that is absolutely right. Each letter is correct. Choose Enter. It will say target didn't report max download size. Sending boot 10240 KB. OK. Writing boot. OK. Finished. Next thing that you're going to want to do is, depending on your device, this is where it depends on if you have an ST10 or an ST10 Plus. If you open up your C drive again, actually, right here, you'll notice you have Plus Boot and Standard Boot. If you have a standard ST10 Plus, this next command is going to be, the last command that you put in is going to be Standard Boot. If you have a ST10 Plus, you will have Plus Boot, like so. We're going to do this once so you can see it here. So now that you're back to your black command prompt, I'm going to type fastboot space flash space recovery space now C:// and this is where the difference is. If you have an ST10 Plus, type plusboot.img. If you have a standard ST10 Plus, or standard ST10, type standardboot.img. As you can see, I have right now in the command line fastboot flash recovery C:// I have a ST10 Plus. So I'm going to type in here plusboot.img. If you had an ST10 standard, like I said 2 seconds ago, type, of course, C:// standardboot.img. Press the Enter key. It'll say sending recovery 8026 KB. OK. Writing recovery 1.291 and finished. From here, you can type fastboot reboot. This should take you directly to TWRP. There we go. And from here, if you want to make sure your OS works and everything's good with that, just simply choose Reboot ST10 Flight Mode. This should take you directly to your stock OS with your flight mode, and you can fly. After this boots up, I'll be telling you about TWRP and what the options do, and then we should be all set. And as you can see, there's your standard ST10 flight mode coming up. There we go. Now we want to get back to TWRP. Well, how do we do that? What we just did is make it so TWRP boots before anything else boots ever. So to get back to TWRP, all you do is shut your remote off and simply turn it back on. And you'll get back to TWRP. Every time the remote turns on, you will have to do, choose reboot, ST10 flight mode, and you'll get back to your flight UI. That only adds about 5 seconds onto the total boot time. Total turn on and get flying time, anywhere between 5 and 8 seconds. So here we go. We should be getting TWRP in a minute. Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to go through some of the options. I'm not going to go through them all, but I'm going to go through most of them. Now, for the first option, which is going to be the most important to everybody, is going to be the backup option. Install, you probably won't use too much. This is used for installing specialty software for the device. The only time we're going to use that is in the root tutorial, which is coming up in another video coming up. Next is the wipe. This does exactly what it says it does. You can't really read it, but let me get it a little closer to you. Maybe that'll help. I'm going to unplug my remote so I can get closer to you. Alright, how does that look? Better than nothing. Alright, so if you swipe there, if you notice it says swipe for factory reset, it'll do exactly that. But this only removes your user data. It doesn't bring the remote back to stock. It's not something you really want to mess with. I would say just leave it. That's kind of a specialty thing. Again, that's something you don't really need to touch ever. But that's what it'll do. It'll remove your user data. Everything else will be fine. You can swipe that, boot up again. Everything will be the same. But all your saved Q500s and stuff like that will be lost, and you'll have to rebind them and all that. Alright, so my screen locked. If your screen ever goes black, that's fine. Just choose it once, click the screen, and just slide to unlock. Choose the back arrow. This is the biggest option you're going to ever use on this remote. This is the backup. This backs up everything on the remote, so in case you mess up, you can get everything back to normal without even needing a computer. So let's do one right now together. Choose all the boxes. Make sure they are all checked. And the name up here, this is what you're going to name the backup. You can just delete in here whatever you want to name it. I'm going to name mine just ST. Can't see anything looking upside down. ST10 stock. STOC. Where's K? Jesus, terrible at this. ST10 stock. And I'm just going to choose the blue arrow up here in the top right. Depending on how you're using the remote, you can turn it sideways so it's the right orientation. That's fine. As you can see, everything's selected. That's good. Just swipe to backup. Your remote's going to go through a process of backing up all its data, everything, the OS, everything. So if you ever have a problem, you choose the other button, which is called Restore. You choose the backup, and bam, you're back to your stock remote. Or however your remote was when you backed it up. I'm going to wait for this to go through here. Sorry if you hear me eating. I am hungry and eating Chinese food because I'm a fatty. Alright, let that load. I'm going to go get a water quick. Alright. We almost done here. Yeah. Getting there. It's okay if the screen goes black, that's fine. It's totally fine. Nothing wrong. Just gotta click and unlock it again. but it will still go through its process while it's locked. Almost done here. And there we go. Backup completed. Perfect. Now, just choose back, and you have a physical backup of your remote. Now, just to be safe, I'm going to teach you how to transfer this onto your computer so you always have a good backup. You simply just plug your remote in to your computer. Super simple. Okay? Open it up. Open up the SD card as if you were taking files off to view flight logs or anything like that. SD card. And right here you'll notice there's a TWRP folder. Open it up. Open up backups. Open up the 0 folder. It might be different for you. It's okay. Just whatever this folder's name. And drag right here. I have 2 actually, but this is the one I just made. ST10 stock. Drag this onto your computer somewhere. And now that backup that this software just made, you now have a copy in your computer. Just in case something goes haywire, and even, you know, I don't know, it's just good to have a backup as many places as you can. It's okay to just leave it on the remote, which it will still stay on there. We're just making a copy and putting it onto the computer. Mine's almost done here. And done. Alright, perfect. Now, unlock the screen again. Choose the back arrow. We're back to the home screen. Now, the option restore is exactly what you think it is. We're going to show you how to use that in a few moments. The mount option is something you never have to worry about also. This is a more technical side of it. You shouldn't have to ever mount anything at all. So, choose back. Settings. You can look through here as much as you like. Just don't touch anything that looks sketchy. Like time zone you can change, which isn't right on this build. We unfortunately can't really fix the clock. We're sorry about that. Nothing really we can do about it. Here's brightness, the vibration motors, and the haptic feedback. And this over here is English, although I believe we only have English in this build as of now, so don't try to change it. Back. Advanced. This has things like reload theme file manager, copy log, partition SD card, terminal, and DB sideload. You won't have to touch anything except for maybe if you want to edit a file, just choose file manager. And as you can see, you can scroll through all the files on your devices. Do not change anything on here unless you know absolutely what you're doing. And that's really TWRP. It's quite simple. Now, we want to get back to your OS. Choose ST10 flight mode. If you want to get back to this screen right here, you want to reboot to TWRP for some reason, just choose recovery, and that'll reboot back into TWRP. But for now, we're going to reboot into flight mode, and we're going to pretend that we broke my OS. We're going to wait till this loads, but we're going to pretend that this is locked up right now. Let's just make that in our heads like that. Let's pretend, oh no, my software locks up right now. Bam, I messed something up because you installed a version of Firefox that's incompatible, or a version of a game that you want to put on here, it's incompatible. Alright, that's fine. Just turn the remote off. Wait for it to load here. Simply turn it back on. And you'll get TWRP because it loads before the OS loads. And this is good because now we can fix our OS without even needing a computer. In fact, I'll unplug mine. Mine is plugged in right now, but I'll unplug it. Because the backup file is still on here. We copied a copy of it onto the computer, but it's still on here. So all you do to fix your OS is choose Restore. ST10, I have 2 of them like I said earlier in mine, but the one I just made is ST10 stock. Choose it. Make sure all the boxes are checked. And choose Flight to Restore. And bam! Once this is done, you absolutely have a stock remote and you should be able to boot right back into flight mode, like it was, like exactly how it was when you made the backup. So that's about the end of this tutorial. I'm going to wait until this loads and we'll reboot it just to show you. And other than that, you have TWRP installed on your device. Like I said, if you really want to get into flight mode, you can turn on the remote, it'll boot the TWRP, and you can hit reboot ST10 flight mode, and that only adds about 8 seconds onto the boot time. So it really doesn't add that much longer. And it's much worth it over the risk. You know, would you rather have a broken remote or wait be 8 seconds faster into your OS? It's really, in my opinion, worth it. So let this restore. Give this a minute or two. As you can see, the screen shut off just because it locks. That's fine. Just wipe to unlock. Almost done. Sorry if you're hearing the dog in the background. Alright, looks like we are done. Perfect. Now all you do, you can either choose reboot system if you'd like, but I always like to go back, 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 reboot, ST10 flight mode, and your OS should be unbricked. You should be all set. So that's the end of my tutorial. Have fun. If you have any questions, please let me know. Our next tutorial is going to be how to install root on the device. Root is going to be a very quick tutorial because it's only for professional users who really want to mess with their device and have fun. I might have a tutorial out that will show you how to connect to a different Wi-Fi, like your home Wi-Fi network with the controller, install things like YouTube, and be able to watch videos on your remote, or anything else. You want to go browse the internet or anything, because this remote does have a huge antenna on it, as we know, and you can get Wi-Fi, people's Wi-Fi, from half a mile away. So, do that as you wish. So, have fun. If you have any questions, please let me know in the forums. Thanks for watching, guys. And also, by the way, if you want to send me a message on YouTube, I also do check that daily. So,